If the child is half of yours and half his, do you think that just automatically, because of these 9 months that you're talking about, that the mother should be given the child and the father should have visitation because of these special 9 months when your body carried the child? You think you should get an advantage because of these 9 months you kept mentioning?
Yes.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
Well, this one kind of hit home because, like, that's not far away from me. It's like 45 minutes away from me where it happened. And I think, honestly, it is like, I was thinking it was the law as well, because I remember when I went through my legal situation with my son's father and how hard it was, like, to go through it. We ended up going for like a year and a half, and we started when my son was only 3 weeks old. And it took that long for it to go through the whole cycle. The longer it plays out, the more it strains you. And I feel like some of it may be like punishing you in a sense to, like, you know, you should be able to solve it and just come together and then file the paperwork saying like, oh, this is our agreement, more than like letting the courts decide the agreement. I felt like I was being punished in like the Montgomery County courts ultimately.
Why did you feel like you were being punished?
Well, I felt like I was being punished because like they scrutinized everything about me. Like I had to bring my report card because I was like fresh out of high school. I had to bring my report card to prove that I was a good student. Like the court ordered me to bring that to prove that I was a good person for my son. I had to
wait. You had a child, and was this a divorce?
It wasn't even a divorce. We never lived together. We never.
So you never lived together, and he was fighting for custody.
He was fighting for custody against me.
And you had to bring your report card?
I was ordered to bring my report card because I had graduated that June. And because I had given the background story of like, I've graduated I went through the whole school system. Like I'm a good person. Me and him just really want we want to have somebody help facilitate visitation, because we don't get along. And there's been physical domestic violence situations where he's brought people trying to attack me or like show up at my house, different situations of that nature. So they were like, oh, we need proof that you actually went to the school. So I had to bring my diploma and my report card to prove that I was.
So them asking you to prove that you had graduated, you felt like that was an unfair level of scrutiny?
I felt, because I thought it was unfair level of scrutiny because it was some of the things that happened for me didn't apply to him. Some of the things that I had to provide proof, since I was the primary person who had the child, he didn't have to provide, like he didn't have to go back to PG to go get his documents. He didn't have to prove where you lived, your routine, what was the schedule that you had. Like there was so much things that I had to figure out and do. And I felt like overall, I was punished because I didn't want to settle it with the way they wanted me to with him, with me having every other week with my child, and my child's only 6 weeks old, 7 weeks old.
Okay, yeah. So you're saying that the courts wanted you to do like every other week. So the courts wanted you to do 50-50.
Yeah,
but you didn't want. Okay, yes. But you didn't want to do 50-50. You wanted. No. Okay, and you felt like because the courts wanted 50-50, and you didn't want 50-50, you wanted to live with your child. You felt like you were punished.
Yes, I do feel like I was punished overall because it felt like I had to fight harder to prove like, in a sense, like disprove what he says about me, but also to push that I'm the best person. I'm the best person. I'm the best person. And I think that's really hard.
Let me jump in for a second. Why should you not have to prove that you are the best person? Right. I assume that it's just your child. Half of your DNA is in this child, right?
Yes.
But half of his DNA is in this child, right?
Yes.
Half of your chromosomes, half of his chromosomes. Why should you not have to prove that you are the best parent if you want this child to live with you the majority of the time? Why shouldn't you prove that? Why is that not rational to say, hey, you need to prove this stuff?
I think it's so rational because for 9 months, I was the person that took care of the child. I was, I provided my body for this child.
Are
I
you, when
went
you
to
say,
that
wait,
person
when you,
for this child.
hold up now. When you say the 9 months, are you talking about the 9 month pregnancy when the child was inside
Yes,
of you?
like I provided that, like, because I chose to have this child. I chose to take care of this child. I
I
did
hope you
not
guys are
want
listening to this.
I did not really want to be with this person anymore. I wanted my child and I wanted to move forward with my life, and the fact of the matter is that I took off work to take care of this child, you know, be it going to the doctor's appointments, all the necessary things. The child came out healthy, came out full term, all these things. I did all of the things I needed to do. The proof is in the pudding with the child. It isn't like I had a record of, oh, you were a bad person, you had these type of records or anything like that. That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes it feels like you're always having to have to fight harder. And then also I think for me in this situation, I feel really bad for the guy because I could only imagine
Wait,
having
wait,
those
wait,
types
wait,
of
wait,
what
wait,
I
wait.
do, like
You
to in
feel
that mind
bad.
state. No, literally, can you let me finish? I just wanted to make
You,
my point.
but you're contradicting yourself. So I just want to make sure that everybody's following what you're talking about,
Okay.
right? Because I want to hear what you have to say, but there are 4,000 people in here, so we need to kind of figure out what you're talking about.
Okay.
You're saying, if the child is half of yours and half his, do you think that just automatically, because of these 9 months that you're talking about, that the mother should be given the child and the father should have visitation because of these special 9 months when your body carried the child? You think you should get an advantage because of these 9 months you kept mentioning?
Yes, I do believe that there should be an advantage for that. I do. Because at the end of
Jesus
the day,
Christ.
if he wanted to be a part of those moments, he could have came to those doctor appointments just as much as I did. He
Mhm.
could have been a part of those things. So I just feel like you can't give me my credit for what I do, when the other person is absent during those time periods. And then when the child's born wants to jump back in and try and get involved. No, it's not right. It's not fair every day.
Yeah. What ended up happening with your case? Did he end up getting 50-50, or did he end up
No.
getting so you ended up winning, right?
Yeah, I ended up winning.
So you ended up winning by showing your damn report card in your
No, it was
and
more things than that.
but
That's
listen,
like that
listen.
was the first instance, but
Let me just back up here. Why do you think it is that because mothers' bodies naturally carry children for 9 months? Why do you think that because of mothers carrying these children for 9 months, they should automatically be given custody and fathers should automatically be given visitation?
well, I like I said before, it's about the involvement. If you want
No,
to be
you
a
said it
part
was
of
about the
this,
you said it was about the 9 months.
it's 9 months. But I did say that if you wanted to be involved, he could have went to these appointments. He could have been involved in these things. And then also the proof is in the pudding. Like if I'm a bad person, I don't go to my, if I'm a bad mother, you're not going to go to your doctor's appointments when you're supposed to. You're not going to seek prenatal care. You're not, and then also the child may come out with disabilities that are preventable. So, or issues if you're a in abusive situations, drugs, all those things come out in the child. So I feel like if you're able to produce a healthy child, you are able to follow suit and have a record proving that, hey, because there's a chart that you follow. Hey, every 4 weeks, every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, every week, you're here at the doctor's office doing what you're supposed to do, eating what you're supposed to eat, like, putting everything forth right for your child, taking these special tests because you have to pay for those, all these different exams and everything out of pocket, and plus having insurance, and plus providing for yourself. I think that shows that you have stability overall. It's not show because if you're able if someone wants to be a part of it, they'll make a way to be a part of it. If they don't want to, then again, for him, he didn't show up for those appointments when those were provided to him at that point. And then to show up at the end and be like, oh, I want 50-50. Where were you during that entire time?
Whose beeping is that? Is that you beeping? Or somebody beeping?
I don't know.
All right. How old were you when you had this child?
I was 18.
All right. So you were 18, right? So you mentioned about providing for yourself and doing all of this. Were you providing for yourself or did you have insurance? Who was paying all of these bills for you at 18?
I was working at a realtor, a big warehouse shop from the time I was 16, and I had worked my way up to supervisory. So I was making a nice amount of money. I had a nice place that I rented a basement. So I had enough, things going for me in that right direction. And I was also enrolled in school. So I feel like I was doing the right things. I was moving myself forward. I had a trajectory of where I was pursuing, and still pursuing.
So you were upset that he would not attend these prenatal visits with you. But then once the baby was born healthy, he wanted 50-50 custody. But you felt like that was unfair because he did not go to the prenatal visits with you.
I feel it's unfair. I feel it's unfair.
So let's just kind of push this out to other people now, because if you feel it's unfair to you, it would be unfair to everybody else. Should there be a rule that fathers who do not go to the prenatal visits do not get 50-50 custody?
Yes, because if you're saying that, especially with times now, what you're saying, life starts at conception, they should be a part of that life. They should be a part of those steps. They should be held responsible for all of those things as well. Not just not just at the end when the child comes out and now you're like, oh, well, I'm going to take 50-50. No, I've put in work on this. I've taken sick leave for this. I've taken all these different things. So I don't.
Let me ask you, do you think a child needs a father?
Yes, I do believe a child needs a father.
Does a child benefit from having the father in the child's life?
A child does benefit from having a father figure in their life.
Because what I just hear you say is me. I did this and I did that and I did this and I did that. I'm hearing, though, you're not talking about the goddamn child. What does your child need? You keep talking about what you did, but what about your child? Why are you putting you above your child? That's what I can't understand. You say that your child needs the father, but then because he didn't but because he didn't show up to the visits, now your child doesn't get those same benefits. Your child gets less time, less valuable time with the father because he didn't show up to your visits, but the child is missing out.
I don't feel that the child missed out overall. The child is.
You just said that a child benefits from time with the father. I didn't say a
father. I said a father figure, and the father. I did say a father figure.
Jesus Christ! Are you guys listening to this bullshit? So, like an uncle could be a father figure, right? Yep.
He had his uncles. He had my father, and he was able to, move forward in his life. Like, it's not, I don't think that every person is the right father figure.
Then why are you sleeping with these men? Why are you creating children with these men if they're not the father figures?
Well,
why don't you just sleep with your uncle? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
So I went ahead. I did not know that person was going to be like that when that happened. And then as things went on.
You didn't know he wasn't going to show up to the visits? Is that what you're talking about?
I did not know it was.
Let me get this straight. You slept with this dude and didn't know he was going to show up for the visits. And now that he doesn't show up for the visits, now your child doesn't need him. Now your child just needs a father figure. Your father, for example, or the uncle, for example.
Yep. And we've moved on perfectly. We've moved on. Now I'm happy married. Okay. He has a beautiful step.
I think I'm going to move on. All right. Let's pull up somebody else. I can't deal with this situation. Shout out to her, but not on this channel. Not on this channel. And you can unsubscribe if you want. I don't give a shit.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.